What's going on, everybody? My name is the Moon Man, and you're now listening to the Moon Man Experience. I got my brother, my family member, my partner in crime, Don Kane from the Alezio family. How's it going, brother?
What's up, Moon Man?
You
Excited to
already
be here,
know.
dude.
Yeah. I'm really happy to have you, man. This is my first interview, so I had to do it. First time I'm interviewing someone, right? So I had to do it with somebody that I've built a good relationship with. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
It's legendary, man. This podcast is going to be legendary.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, so I am the Don Kane. That's my pseudonym. Moon Man and I found out about each other through actually it was through Final Frontier, but Final Frontier is a part of Star Atlas, right? And so I think we all kind of just saw what Star Atlas was doing and what they're building and what they're trying to accomplish, and I think it gave all of us like some extreme inspiration, and we all started kind of building on top of that, and I think that for those of us that do stick with this over the long run, because there's going to be bear markets, there's going to be bullshit that happens,
Agreed.
uh, I think that us that stick with it for the long run, we're really going to make a serious impact, not only just in the crypto and the metaverse world and gaming world, but I mean in the
Yeah.
broader world as well.
Yeah. No, I truly agree. I think what's going on right now is it's a serious change, right? I've never seen nothing like it. And I know you got the Alezio family. Tell us maybe a little bit about that.
Yeah, happy to. So the Alessio family is my attempt at starting a guild, because I'm under the impression that um the metaverse is essentially a platform. I kind of think of it like a layer one blockchain like Ethereum or Solana, right? It's like the blockchain itself isn't so miraculous now. Like
Hmm.
like clearly, block the underlying technology is, but by itself, if there's nothing built on top of it, then what's it good for? And I kind of think of Star Atlas and other metaverses as like a layer one blockchain, and then the guilds are almost like a layer two. They're kind of like a decentralized application, especially if they're structured like a DAO, like a decentralized application on top of the Star Atlas blockchain. So kind of in a sense, since Star Atlas, Polis, and Atlas are layer twos, it's
Hmm.
almost like we're in a way a layer three, kind of like a social layer.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
it's actually pretty crazy
I've never actually
to
looked at it like
see.
that.
It's a pretty interesting way to look at it, right? It's pretty, and
Yeah.
here's the craziest part. Star Atlas doesn't even have a game yet. Now, granted, we're what, 2 days away from the release of the minigame, but months ago, Star Atlas still doesn't even have a game, and there's massive communities. I think the Final
Huge.
Frontier has what, 7,000 followers on Twitter, and there's not even a game yet, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
isn't
yeah.
that crazy?
I think it's I think it's just different. We all know games when they're first coming out. You send a trailer to your buddy. You tell everybody that you know. You share it, and you stick with it a little bit, but you never know where it's gonna go. But you don't see a community built like this. Um, at least, maybe they have discords out there, maybe they don't, but it just a way it grew so fast. I know when I came in I think it was July, mid July, maybe early August. It wasn't that long ago. I don't even think it's been 6 months, right? Uh, the Discord only had maybe 30,000 people in there. Maybe it was 18,000. I think it was 18,000. I even had
The
that written in one
Star Atlas,
of my,
Star Atlas
yeah, Star
Discord?
Atlas. Yeah. I had that written in one of my
Wow.
notes, so I do remember it was
Yeah,
18,000,
they're
and it
huge
just
now.
blew the hell up. It's
Yeah.
crazy. That's
Quarter
awesome.
of
I
a
love that you
million.
said layer three social.
Layer
That's
three, it's
cool.
like a social application, it's crazy. But what's crazy is it's going to be even more, right? We're going to be structured as DAOs that are going to have, blockchain governance. And I think that we're going to see more and more. Now, granted, I have been vocal about, my uh I guess fear of how, like, the infancy of these DAOs. I think that definitely a lot of political theory and structuring needs to go into these things, because I think there are some risks with DAOs, whether it be this idea of true democracy, which is really a misnomer, right? Because if someone
Right.
comes in and buys all the tokens of the DAO, then it's not like they have the say, right? It's kind of
Right. Right.
like the legacy structure of our institutions nowadays. They have so much power that they can do whatever they want. And so that's why I think there's going to have to be some more like political theory that goes into how we're structuring these things. But it is really really exciting to see, um, just to see the community engagement with all of these things. Like there's such a huge. It's funny. I think I might have told you this in
Hmm.
a spaces the other day.
Yeah, we do those a lot. It's a great time. I love those
We do a bunch
spaces.
of those. Um, I've been on Twitter since 2010, 2011, right? I've had a
Yeah.
Twitter account my entire life.
This Don Kane one.
No, no, no. I've deleted and
Yeah.
made
Yeah.
new
Yeah.
Twitter.
Yeah.
How
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Twitter
Yeah.
game goes, right?
I
You're
have
like,
a
I
bunch of
don't want to be a
Twitters.
part of
Yeah.
this.
Yep.
Then you come back and all
Yep.
that stuff.
Yep. Yep.
But I've had Twitter basically my entire life, and the two main things that I saw for 99% of my Twitter career was politics and celebrities bragging about how rich they are. And now that I follow all of these crypto accounts, I don't even know what's going on in the world. All I
Right.
see every single day is crypto and NFTs,
It's
right?
literally all I see. NFT giveaways.
My friends have to tell me what's going on in the world. I don't even know what's going on anymore. So,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
honestly I'm cool with, right? It's probably better for my mental health that I don't.
Yeah. It's literally all just NFT giveaways and like I thought I know I brought in up in one of the Twitter spaces that I think Twitter is working on maybe this is just I don't know where I read it, I don't know where I heard it from, I don't remember, but they're working on like canceling out these NFT giveaways if there's not some form of
Oh yeah.
verified truth behind it, right?
Mhm.
That you can verify that you're actually giving away one of these NFTs, which I think is really like it's just good for the community because I'm sick of seeing people create giveaways and then
There's
just delete
so
that picture, change their name, gaining all these followers. But even if they gain all those followers, they're still not doing anything with the follower
yeah.
count.
There's good and bad to it. I think the good is getting rid of the spam, but the bad is this layer of censorship that Twitter is going to have to be able to enact over it, right? So let's say they don't like your mission, for whatever kind of giveaway you're doing, they could essentially take it down. If they have that kind of power, there's good and bad to it, right?
Yeah, I think there is a good and bad to it. I'm definitely not for censorship. I do believe that everybody should be free to do whatever. I think there's a lot of good people that have got a lot of good things going on and are being censored just because they lean whatever direction, left, right, and all that stuff, or they're speaking out against, a side that doesn't like what, is being talked about, or, just a lot of that going on. So I'm not a big fan of censorship. I feel like that's kind of rewriting history in a sense. You know what I mean? You're able to delete um, you're able to delete whatever the hell you want and you're rewriting history, and for the people of the future generation, you're going to have these kids and these teenagers that are going to have access to the internet, all this technology, but they're not even going to be able to dig up and find what was going on in certain times in the past because literally everything is deleted, right? um, yeah, so
Here's the
it's
thing too, is even let's imagine that social media is on the blockchain and you can never, right, blockchain's immutable, you can never delete a
correct.
tweet. Let's say that's the future.
Right.
Even then, there's going to be so much information. There already is. There is so much information out there. Where do you even start? Right? Like I can't even tell you how many times I've gone to go learn something new, whether it be programming or blockchain or metaverse, and I'll get sidetracked because I come across something else that I need to go learn before I learn X, right? I got to go learn Y. And then you get to Y and you're like, "Oh, I got to learn Z so I can understand Y so that I can go
Right.
and finally research X." And it's like you get lost, right? If you're not hyper focused on some of these concepts, it can be paralyzing. It can be absolutely paralyzing just trying to figure out what the hell is going on.
I fully agree. This crypto space is crazy. There's a lot to learn. I know I'm still in the learning stage. I'm learning something new. Me personally, I've always been somebody that likes to ask questions. I always speak of my crypto buddies that I know in real life, right? And I'm always asking them questions and stuff like that. But yeah, I love to ask questions, man. YouTube University all day. This crypto
That's what
space
it's
is
all about.
huge. Yeah.
That's what it's all about, man. YouTube. You know what YouTube has done? I was actually on a call the other day, and I was
Hmm.
talking to this guy that was interested in joining the Alessio family. I was saying, YouTube has essentially made a college degree just a facility for networking, right? Like that's the
Right.
only value that you can extract from a college degree because everything that you want to learn can be learned on YouTube for free, and the teacher's probably going to be more engaging on YouTube because he's making a lot more money. He's probably making, a lot more money than these professors,
Right.
just from his sheer reach, right? If you
Right.
think about like some of the top like teacher like any YouTuber, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If they dominate the space, whether it be mathematics or English or whatever, they're probably going to
Hmm.
end up making more money because they're going to have a Patreon. They're probably going to have merch, right?
Exactly.
It's almost like the entrepreneurialization, if that's even a word, of
Yeah.
of
You
academia.
might have just created it, but
I
I
think
like
I
that word
did.
a lot. I like that word a lot. It's pretty decent.
What
You heard
was
it
it?
here first. This isn't.
Entrepreneurialization.
Yeah, you haven't. You heard it here first. It's not on the blockchain, but it's definitely on this podcast slash YouTube video. So, yeah, Don Kane, rewriting
Yeah.
English. I like it.
I'm gonna have Webster's reach out to me.
Decent, dude. Sponsorship. Let's go, Alessio family. Literally, the first,
Let's
the first
go.
sponsorship is Webster. That would be dope. um,
Oh
yeah, so
man,
that's
that's
a really
awesome.
good
That's awesome.
point. And just kind of piggyback on that, right? When it comes to, man, I just lost my train of thought. What was I gonna say? What were we talking about?
Is it YouTube
YouTube, yes, YouTube.
University?
So
Yeah.
yes, YouTube University. So the cool thing is like you were saying, there's much more ways for them to make money, but also, you can find whatever you're looking for on YouTube. It doesn't have to just be one creator taking over
Oh, there's
and
there's a
doing that.
thousand.
Yeah, doing that
There's
one
a thousand.
genre, whatever that
Mhm.
genre is or whatever they're teaching. There can be 45 different teachers in that same subject on YouTube because it comes down to personality. You might not like this person's personality, you might not like this girl, that guy, this woman, this boy. Like, you might not like certain people, right? Or you might like a couple of them. And I think that's the beautiful thing about YouTube, and I think that also goes into life. Like, don't ever be fearful of attempting something just because there's somebody else doing it. There might be people that
Exactly.
like that person
Exactly.
and people that like you. So just go for it. So yeah,
Go
just to
for it. Go
piggyback
for
off
it.
that, there's so
Every
much room for
everybody
teachers.
starts somewhere.
Yeah,
Everybody starts somewhere, man. And
agreed.
and like our followings right now, they're small, and there's probably going to be 15 people that watch this YouTube video, but if we
Right?
stick with it, man, we're in a space that rewards genuine people.
I think so. I think so.
People that are in the space for genuine reasons because they they see the community aspect of it, and they don't want to, they almost feel a renewed sense of meaning and purpose. Like
Yeah,
those people are rewarded, right? Like I think,
yeah,
you know in uh in more traditional legacy structures like capitalism and I don't know, just kind of the way that the world functions with these large corporations is it's almost a it's so these corporations, they're incentivized um to give their shareholder the fattest return,
mm-hmm.
right? And that is their only incentivization. They don't have the incentivization to be like do social good, right? Like
Right,
you'll see corporations that come out and they're like, oh, we're gonna give money to this foundation, and we're gonna a percentage of our profits are gonna go to charity or something like that. But really, that's all PR. That's all marketing. Uh, uh, their master is are the shareholders, uh, and giving returns and dividends and all of that. But in Web3 and blockchain, it's different,
mm-hmm.
right? It's
Right,
community focused, right? You have to have literally power to the people, right? It's kind of overused at this point, but it's true, right? It's all about community engagement. It's about community incentives. It's about what is best for the beehive and not just the queen bee. You know what I'm saying?
correct. I fully agree on that. And if you don't mind me asking, um, we're talking a lot about Star Atlas. We're talking about a lot about decentralized ideas and corporations and just organizations and just the social aspect of being decentralized, right? Stick it to the man, power to the people, stick it to the man, right? So
Power
let
to
me
the
ask you
people.
this: with the beliefs that you have and all that you've now talked about, what's kind of your goal with the Alessio family when you're looking at Star Atlas? Where do you see you guys being? Where do you see your guys? Here I go again. Where do you see yourself and the team? Um, in a year,
Sure,
two
sure. Yeah,
years,
yeah,
three
that's a
years.
great question.
Yeah.
So it's funny because we sat down with a VC firm the other day,
Yeah.
and we were talking about our mission and our vision. And of course our mission is it's the short term, it's the what are we going to look like, next month, what are we going to look like 1 year, 2 year, right? And then
Right.
we
Right.
have the vision that's the long term, that's 5, 10, 15 years down the future. And we ended up telling him the end game, the end goal, which is to essentially, or here, I won't ruin it because I need to provide further context, but essentially
Yeah.
he's listening to us and he's like, oh, you guys have a vision, like a real vision. And I thought that was funny, but yeah, so I can let me talk a little bit more about the mission. Like I said, that's
Yeah. I was
kind of
gonna
our
say, break
short
it down
term.
to me like you're pitching me. Yeah.
Sure,
Let's hear
sure,
it.
yeah, yeah. I need this practice anyways, right? Especially if I'm going to be going to more investment funds.
Oh, for sure. Let's
Uh, so
go.
so the mission is in the beginning. We want to. Star Atlas is. I don't think so. So let me say this. I don't think Star Atlas is going to be a good way to make money.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's going to have to be infrastructure to allow people to make money and to allow people to make consistent income. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the guilds come in, right? Guilds are gonna be, they're gonna be hiring people in real life, but most importantly, I think this idea of scholarship programs, and in the Alessio family, I think we're calling it Metaverse Incubator, just kind of our little spin and how we're gonna work that out. But essentially, that's what it is, a scholarship program to get people more immersed and to basically give them, a starter, it's like a launch pad, right? It's a launch padding someone into success in the metaverse. Because these metaverses are going to be huge. They're going to be broad. They're going to be cutthroat, right? We've spoken about, the Eve Online, and what's going to happen when there's millions and billions of dollars flowing through the metaverse, and it's going to be brutal out there. And so I think that these guilds, these DACs and these DAOs they're gonna be the ones that are offering that infrastructure that can allow people. Like, sure, there's gonna be entrepreneurs. Don't get me
Mm-hmm.
wrong, right? But not
Right.
everyone is an entrepreneur. There are a lot of people that prefer consistency and what's the word I'm looking for? Consistency and security, right? like
Yeah.
like income
Structure. Yeah.
security, structure, right?
Yeah.
Infrastructure. And so that initial mission is to build that infrastructure. Now, that itself is going to be it's going to be interesting how we build that out, because we're going to need a lot of most importantly, when we structure the DAO, we're going to need a basically a stone cold killer in DAO uh DAO legal, like legality, like a DAO lawyer, which
Right.
is, if you thought blockchain development was hard to find, if you thought it was hard to find blockchain developers, try finding a DAO lawyer, right? There's
Yeah. Yeah.
probably there's probably a handful on the entire planet. And so we definitely want to find someone like that, but it's kind of looking like what we're going to end up having to do
Mm-hmm.
is, because we want our token, our DAO token, to have some kind of revenue share, some kind of ability for people to get something similar to dividends. And I know
Right.
the SEC just tuned in; they're listening now. But if we want to do that, we're going to have to move the operations, probably the headquarters, outside of the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Because the second you have some sort of revenue share, some sort of dividend going back to the holders, The SEC comes along and they say you're a security, and now you have 1,000 more hurdles, and you got to hire, a lawyer just for the SEC compliance,
Yeah.
and it's just kind of
Yeah.
a nightmare for innovation and a small startup. So as far as the Dow construction goes, I'm probably gonna have to end up moving out of the U.S. And I'm thinking right now, Bahamas is probably a good place. There's a lot of
Right.
organizations that are moving there now, like FTX. They just moved all operations over there, I think. I think
Okay.
Sam, what's the guy's name? S- Bankman Fried or something.
Yeah, I wish I knew. I don't know him.
Every single time I see that guy's name in my
Hmm.
head, it's like I say Sam Bacon Fried. I don't know
Bacon
why.
fried.
Yeah, I don't know why. I can never say his name. Sam Bacon Fried. Anyways,
Is that his name? Bacon fried?
I think it's Bakeman Fried or something.
Yeah, but you just
Bankman
yeah,
Fried,
yeah,
something like
yeah.
that.
Bacon fried is cool. I
SBF. He
like
goes by
that.
SBF. Yeah,
Yeah,
Sam
yeah.
Bacon Fried. I'm gonna make a tweet about that. Anyways,
Let's do it.
so yeah. Now, more short term, what I'm doing and why these investment funds are interested is
Hmm.
because I'm structuring a kind of like a very basic C corp where investors can buy preferred shares. And what we will do is we'll take their capital, we'll allocate it into, let's say, a Calico Guardian.
All right.
And then because these investors, they just want to give someone money that's going to give them a return, right? And so they don't actually want to play the game. So basically what's going to happen is they're going to give me money. I'm going to buy a Calico Guardian, and then I'm gonna refuel the Calico Guardian. I'm gonna stake it. I'm gonna feed the crew. I'm gonna buy ammo, and and I'm essentially gonna operate it, right? And with that, there's gonna be some kind of APR. We don't know what it is yet, but it's probably on industry standard. It's gonna be somewhere from 100 to 150%.
Right.
And with that APR that we're receiving, we will take in operating fee, and I don't know the numbers on it exactly yet,
Hmm.
but we'll take an operating fee, and then we'll give the rest back as dividends, right? So the second we start this, it's already it's not only already a profitable company, but we're already giving dividends to the investors, and that is making investors go crazy whenever I tell them that.
Hmm. Yeah, that's huge.
Um, and the operating fee that we take, that's going all into the Alessio family treasury. In
Right.
fact, probably what we're going to end up doing is if there's some lending solutions, what we'll end up doing is probably levering up and and taking out loans on ships, right? So if we get like, let's say an investor gives us 40 grand and we can get a Calico Guardian or whatever we want, right? Then we can also use that as collateral to get another Calico Guardian. And if there's multiple lending solutions, then we can lever up even more. And then our growth would be absolutely ridiculous over the course of the next few years, right? And I think a lot of guilds are going to end up doing that. Um, so yeah, that's kind of the base. Like that's what's going to happen in the next month or two. And then I told you the mission of the DAO,
Right. Right.
and then eventually, the vision, right? The whole reason why, and honestly, Jimmy Hoffa, the consigliere for the Alessio family, he'd probably be better to ask about the vision because, oh man, that guy is freaking brilliant.
I was gonna say the
Um,
guy that's possibly cemented in the Jets stadium. I'm
wait, no,
just
no, no,
messing
no.
with
I,
you.
I, I
I
see,
know.
I
I'm
see.
just
No,
messing
no.
with you. I'm
I
just
was like, I
messing
was
with
like,
you.
I was like, hold on, what? No, 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 no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I promise we're not gonna whack him. I promise.
Yeah. No, I'm just messing with you.
No, no, I got you.
Yeah. No, I love a lot of the people on your team. I've gotten to speak with a couple of them. Obviously, Frankie Diamonds.
Frankie Diamonds,
I don't
baby.
think I've really spoke to Jimmy Hoffa yet. I don't think we've gotten a chance. I know you've mentioned him a couple of times on our calls off of spaces, and then obviously we've got how do you say the other guy's name? Decentral something.
Oh,
Decent.
Decentraland. Yeah, yeah, Jay.
Yeah, yeah. Jay.
Jay the
Spoke to him.
Bootneck.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Great dude. Spoke to him
Mhm.
quite a few times on spaces, and so yeah, I think what you're putting together over there, you got a really solid team. And speak a little bit about the fact that you guys actually are attracting more of the older crowd, and I don't want to say older as a disrespectful thing, but
Sure, sure.
more of the mature men, right?
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
saying that Final Frontier has young guys or ladies or the other teams are young teams, but I know you did mention that in the spaces about just attracting this different type of vibe. This what did I call it? Cognac and cigars, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, I feel it. Yeah, I think that's something that we're still trying to we're still trying to do is actually figure out who our target audience is. We're probably going to do some surveys
Right.
just so we can build a more robust marketing team. But
Smart.
from my understanding, yeah, we get some older members. I don't know. I
Hmm.
think it's something to do with one, they grew up with mafia movies being the biggest movies, right? Like
Right.
nowadays you have so many movies, there's so many genres, your niche could literally be anything. But back in the day, dude,
Who
like
doesn't
mafia
love
movies,
Goodfellas? Who
those
doesn't
were
love The
the those
Godfather?
those
Yeah.
were the movies of the year, right? Those were movies that lasted that stayed in these guys' minds for, for years. And I think they see the Alessio family and it's almost nostalgic. It's almost it feels like home. It's like,
Right.
oh
Right.
yes, I want to be a part of that.
Right.
Um, but they're brilliant, dude. There's so many brilliant, brilliant people that are reaching out that want to help out, and I'm so blown away, right? It
And
just
just
goes
from what
back
I've
into
heard
that.
and the people that I've talked to, not to cut you off,
No, 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 you're good. You're good.
it seems like you guys are a very wise team. You've put together a very knowledgeable team, very good intellect, right? So yeah, it's really awesome what you're
Definitely.
doing. Go on though. Sorry,
Definitely. Definitely. These
just
guys,
wanted to put
these
that in
guys are
there.
10 these guys are 10 times smarter than me. I am literally I'm the puppet, right? These guys are the puppeteers. I'm just the face of the company. I'm serious. The amount of skill, the amount of acumen, and it's all everyone is, has their own uh uh like expertise, right? So we have Jack, and he's a brilliant 3D artist. He was showing me the 3D uh uh models that he's making for our NFTs, and I mean,
Right.
absolutely gorgeous. I just feel so bad because I want to show people so bad.
Yeah.
But we're still a few months out, but I think people are going to be absolutely shocked when they see the just the quality that
That's
Jack brings to the table.
Yeah, I
And then
agree.
we got
That's
Jimmy
always the
Hoffa.
toughest thing when you got something to show the world, but you just got to be patient because
I
patience gonna
want
win in
to
the end.
so
Yeah.
bad. I want to so bad. Yeah, and then we got Jimmy Hoffa,
Hmm.
brilliant, way smarter than me, just as far as political theory and mathematics and everything. And um, he really, where he really has an expertise is in like oration, so like talking. So
Hmm.
if I'm in a meeting with like a hardball investor or someone that's like really hounding me, like I can sometimes I don't know, trip up, and he never trips up, and so
Right.
it's just such a great synergy. Um, and then we've got AG. AG actually he hasn't been very
Excuse me.
public. He's more behind the scenes, but he's like he's been working really really on some really really detailed lore. I
Right.
don't
Right.
know exactly his background because he is a bit anonymous,
Hmm.
which is actually it's actually kind of fun for a lore like the head of lore, right? Is that it's mysterious. We don't know much about him, right? But it's pretty
Yeah.
fun. He's a genius.
It's
I mean,
always
there's
it's
just so
always
much,
fun
so
having a
many.
ghost on your team. I know at Final Frontier
Absolutely.
we have Viles, so shout out Viles if you've made it this far in the podcast slash YouTube video, right? Um, and yeah, he's like a ghost, man. Nobody knows who he is, but he's super down for the team and he puts in that hard work
Telling you, that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about.
for sure. So let's talk about score. This is
Let's do
something
it.
that we're anticipating.
Let's do it.
This is something that we're freaking ready for. This is something that's depending on where you live in the world. For me, it's 7 p.m. right now as recording this, and it's 2 days away. Real quick, actually, before we talk about it, do you know when it's actually going to be able to be played
I don't know the
on Thursday?
exact time. Yeah, I don't know
No.
the exact time.
All
I'm gonna
right.
assume it's probably gonna be evening.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
I think it's probably gonna be the evening.
I asked in Discord chat, and Egonot, Is that how you say his name, right?
Yeah, it's such a
He
hard name to say.
Yeah, super cool guy. He
Eganat
got back to me and he was like, I think it's still up for debate, but I think they're shooting for evening, like you mentioned.
evening, probably, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I expect just because I've come to expect in metaverse development, I do
hmm
expect probably game time delays, right? So like that's remember what happened with the and not not to throw Star Atlas under the bus. It's just kind of how
no,
these
not at
things
all.
work, right?
Yeah,
Um, but remember when the faction, like the select your faction functionality came live, there
yeah,
was a bit of delay. I mean,
hmm
I was sitting there ready at the exact minute. I was sitting there staring at my screen, and they kind of had
yeah,
I don't know what happened, but it kind of got delayed like 30 minutes to an hour or something like that.
yeah. That's what everybody should probably be aware of and be prepared for. Is let's say it's coming out, you know, 10 p.m. UTC Thursday. Expect to play possibly Friday morning. You know what I mean? Just let the team get all those bugs out,
Right.
comb through everything, see what's going on with the system, and just work that out over the next few hours. Because right when it releases, we know exactly what's going to happen. The same thing that happens in the ships when they go live. Everybody's buying, Discord's on fire, and that's exactly when it's going to happen. What's going to happen when it says time to play. So everybody's just got to be relaxed a little bit. We've all been waiting. We are all extremely anxious, but we're gonna get to play. The biggest thing that you could be excited for is we're for sure all playing this weekend. So that's the greatest thing.
We're all gonna make it, man. We're all
We're
gonna
gonna
make
make
it.
it.
I'm excited to see how in depth it is. I'm really excited to see all the different things that we're gonna be able to do. I don't like I'm setting my expectations. Here's what I'm expecting.
Okay, let's hear
I'm
it.
expecting there to be um a list of ships,
Mm-hmm.
and and you will see your supply that you have,
Right.
and you can click stake, and then it tells you a timeline of how long it's going to be staked, and then you'll see meters for how much fuel and how much food and how much ammo you have.
Right.
And then you will go in and you will check maybe daily, and you will either going to be daily or weekly. I don't know, but you'll check daily or weekly, and you will refuel and refeed and resupply on ammo. And I think that's going to be as basic as it is.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be super complicated. I think it's going to be exactly what you said. It's going to be simple. I've been saying, you refuel, you feed, you reload your ammo, whatever. I think there's another one. And you send your ship out for 5 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever the case may be. It comes back damaged. It comes back you needing fuel. Maybe it doesn't, maybe you got through the mission 100%. Maybe you did 80, whatever it is. And that's kind of what it's going to be. It's going to be staking. You're going to be able to send your ships out, do what you got to do. They come back, do what you got to do to them. Boom, send them back out, just like a fucking doctor.
Boom, boom. The
Hell yeah.
doctor, the spaceship doctor. You know, it's funny. Some guy
Yeah.
came in the Alessio family Discord yesterday, and
hmm
he said I'm a master engineer, and I work on cars all day. And then Decentraland or Decentraverse Jay, he
Yeah.
goes, "Ever worked on a spaceship?"
That's awesome. That's
Uh,
awesome. Yeah, that's crazy, man. What about these land stakes? You picking up any? Do you have any from the poster series era and all that? Did you get any, or how's that working for you?
yes, yeah. So I
I don't have
I
any
didn't.
personally. I
Yeah,
gotta
I
wait
don't
to
have any
buy.
personally. I didn't find out about Star Atlas until I think it was September. You know, here's a funny story.
hmm
It was September 16th, I believe. Somewhere around September 16th, mid-September. It was a Monday morning. 8 a.m. I had pretty much just woken up, and I had the whole previous week I was basically wireframing DEX. I was going to build a DEX on some obscure blockchain because they didn't have a DEX yet, and that blockchain suffered with some serious liquidity problems. So I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to spend my time doing. I'm gonna
hmm
start a DEX. I'm gonna build a DEX. And this was going to be my first day starting on that work. I wake up, 8 a.m., got my coffee in hand, open up Twitter so that I can, wake up a little bit before I start getting into the research and working. First tweet I see by at Soul Big Brain. It's a Solana gaming thread. First one on there, Star Atlas. Go to the Twitter, see the trailer, blown away. Go to the website, read the white paper, read the economics paper, game over. No longer building a DEX, I'm building on Star Atlas. So
Yeah, that's super smart.
that was my kind of my story. It was like once I saw it, I was like, "Yep, that's it. That's what I'm doing." I mean, I've always, my pretty much my entire adult and teenage life, I've always said the second they make a GTA 5 or a GTA 6 where I
Yeah,
can play that and I can make a full-time living on that, I'm quitting whatever I'm doing and I'm doing that. I've been saying this for years,
yeah, I'm all in
right?
it. Yeah, because I
And
think
so,
we all want to earn from games, like, and I tell like some of my friends that have younger kids, right, that are 16, 15 years old, and I tell them like, yo, it's so crazy to think like um, we are growing, they're growing up in this world where they've been playing games their whole life, but like they're they're not even an adult yet, but the way it's going and the way everything is shifting, they may never actually have to work a job, a real job, and be able to play a game, earn from it, and provide for the family. And 2 3 years, whatever the case may be, they can get their own apartment, but it's all still from literally just playing a video game and earning from it. So what a crazy experience to be,
oh yeah.
a 15-year-old and grow up in a life like that, right? I'm 28 years old. I don't know how old you are, but we didn't have that. It's just now coming about 10 years for me after being 18, right? Turning an adult. So it's crazy.
What's crazy to me is I have a nephew, and he's 11 years old, and he gets an allowance. I think he gets like 10, $20 a week.
Right.
Every last cent goes into Fortnite skins. Every
Mm-hmm.
last cent. Now, if those Fortnite skins were on a blockchain and there was some level of rarity, if he was good at choosing, like some rare skins, he'd be making more than his parents, than my brother,
Yeah.
before he even graduated high school,
Crazy, right? And I
right?
also bring up that perspective. It's so nuts to think about. And I also bring up that perspective. Uh, you know, we're gonna have these big time streamers and these big time gamers, people like Ninja, people like Dr. Disrespect, Tim the Tap Man, these types of people, right? That are high level gamers, Shroud, these high level gamers, right? What happens when they get into this space and they start using certain NFT weapons? And I think I've spoke about this in spaces before, but I would love to go back on it. And this person has 1,000 kills to their name, or 1,000 kills to that NFT, or 10,000 kills to that NFT. So now it's even more valuable because it was held by somebody that is famous, that is a dominating person, and maybe they only held it for 3 weeks but got 10,000 kills with it. So now that's all written into the blockchain, then making that NFT
Exactly.
even more valuable than just a
Wow.
gold skin NFT gun. You know what I mean? It's actually
I
got
didn't even think about that.
a life to it, and a history written into it. And it was only used
Yeah.
ever, and it was minted by Dr. Disrespect, 10,000 kills, 1 month, put on the blockchain. Not only is that a minted by Dr. Disrespect and sold, he's murdered people with it. Speed, agility, and whatever the hell he says, right?
Oh my God. That's
So,
amazing. Yeah, I had never thought about that. Yeah. It's like a
yeah,
digital signature in a way, but it's so much more than a
exactly,
digital signature. It's so
exactly,
much more than that. It's literally use, right? Like this is something someone used, I guess. I don't know.
right,
It's
yeah,
crazy
yeah,
to think about. It's crazy
exactly.
to
No,
think
you hit it
about.
right on the dot with
Yeah.
a digital signature. Exactly what it
Yeah.
is. Exactly
Crazy to
what it
think about
is.
because that's going to be huge. That's going to be absolutely huge. Now, here's what I do think. I think that these large scale streamers, I
Mm-hmm.
actually believe I'm kind of looking at, the history repeats itself in all forms. I actually think
Right.
that these large scale streamers are not going to make the transition quick enough. And I think that there's going to be new people in the space that come up. And while we all know all of these names now, these Call of Duty names like Tim the Tap Man and all these other ones,
Yeah.
um, I think that a lot of them are going to put it off, put it off, put it off. And then by the
So you think
time
we're
they're
gonna get it like
finally
a
in it,
new wave of
yeah,
top people?
yep, yep. I think that's the way
Because
when you look at history,
yeah,
right? Think about companies now versus companies 20 years ago.
right.
AOL, right? ExxonMobil was the largest company in 2008,
Okay.
right? Where's
Yeah.
ExxonMobil now compared to Apple,
Okay.
right? It's just it's the way things go. Now, granted, there are going to be people that make the transition successfully,
Hmm.
but they're going to have to get in earlier. It's if there's already if they wait too long,
Right.
then they're going to be left in the dust, right?
I would only
Because
say the only thing I would say to that though is you got to remember, like, yes, there could be some new players that come into play, um, and they can make a name for themselves. They can themselves. They can make they can get popular, just as popular as these streamers now. They could grow a following because they're playing for real money, so viewers are now watching them. It's just a whole different game, right? But
Mhm.
these guys, when they do make that transition, even if it's late, people are still going to want to see what these guys
For
do,
sure,
and their
for sure,
gaming
for sure,
level, and especially like Dr. Disrespect and Shroud, like their
sure.
gaming's not going to change. And the only other thing that they have on their side that's going to transition well is that they do get a lot of money from I'm not counting pockets over here, but I have done math before just to be like, man, what do you think these guys are making? And then averaging things and just being like, damn, these guys are probably making millions of dollars a year. We know they are. So when it does come time for them to transition, they're already bringing their following. They maybe have lost a little bit due to the blockchain gaming, but they're still just as good as players
Here's
as they are, and they have money to actually build themselves up in that game and invest.
Sure, sure. So here's the way I see it.
Okay.
Is I don't actually think they'll lose any followers, and I think they'll continue to grow.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the metaverse influencers are going to have exponential the amount of followers that these traditional gaming guys have. Does that make
Right.
sense? So
Yeah.
I don't know how many Dr. Disrespect has. He has what, a few million on YouTube? Is that his biggest platform?
Yeah,
That or Twitch?
yeah, because he ended up getting kicked off Twitch, and I don't know if we even know why that happened, but yeah, now he's just on YouTube. Yeah, correct. He does usually
He,
about 2,000, 200,000 to like 600,000 views on YouTube every video. Generally sits
sure,
around
sure.
3,000, 300.
So he's probably got what, a million, 2 million subscribers.
Yeah, yeah, easily. Yeah, I could check,
So
but yeah, something
I
like that.
think when metaverse comes to fruition, I
Yeah,
think that the quote unquote Doctor Disrespect of the metaverse is going to have 20 to 100 million, right? Because this is a global affair.
right,
Whereas people like I think the scale of what the metaverse is going to become
right.
is going to like these metaverse influencers are going to be way bigger than and granted there's going to be successful ones, right? There's going to be ones that make a successful transition and just as big as they were in traditional gaming, they're going to be just as scalable and big, but I do think that there's it's just it's the evolution of things. It's the cycle of things, right? It's like who was Elon Musk in 2008, right?
Mhm,
Did
mhm.
we even know who he was? But now everybody knows who he is. Now he's the
Yeah,
wealthiest man in the world, right? So it's
right.
I don't know. It's just
Yeah,
it's the
I
way
think
things
that's a
go.
good point.
It's the
I think that's a good way to look at it.
cyclicality.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it. We obviously know that um, we're at a very small place when it comes to gaming, blockchain gaming, right? It's such, my God, is there just such a large launch pad, and we haven't even. I think me and you have laughed about that. It's in the infancy stage, right? Should we give the
It
people that
is.
on the podcast? Yeah,
It is.
you know what I mean. They haven't even met yet, let alone even
Exactly.
can
We
talk.
don't know who the guys are going to be, right?
He ain't even
But
shot his
maybe
shot.
it'll be the Moon Man. Maybe it'll be
Yeah.
the Moon Man and the Don Kane.
Oh yeah, that would be
I
awesome.
think it will be. I think it will be, man.
Yeah, yeah, that would be really cool. I'm gonna try to stay humble, but let's fucking go. We're fucking coming for you. You know what I mean? So we can get crazy
Telling you,
with it.
man.
Yeah, hell
Telling you, man.
yeah.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. I am gonna make the prediction that the PewDiePie
Hmm.
of the metaverse
Yeah.
will have half the world's population subscribers.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there
20
that
years.
play games,
20
and there's a lot of
years,
people that like to earn
3.5
money.
billion subscribers.
And
I'm
when
gonna
you
make
put
that
those two
prediction.
together, so what do you PewDiePie version of in the metaverse is going to do what?
Yeah.
Shoot it out one more time.
He or she or that person is
Yeah,
going to have 3.5 billion subscribers. Half the world.
3.5 billion subscribers.
Or
That's a lot,
I
man.
guess at that time it'd probably be 4 or 5 billion, right? Because we're rapidly the population is rapidly growing.
Yeah, I mean that's a big claim, but I like
Yeah,
it. And
I think so.
yikes, man. Yeah, because it's just so different because everybody's going to be in the metaverse now. It's
Everyone.
just something that your
Everyone.
mother, your father, your grandmother, the same way everybody's got a cell phone in their hand for the most part. People are gonna be into the metaverse. You know what I mean? And that's what I love. That's why I can't wait for like. I just know we're so early. I can't wait for like. I know I tell my parents and my family members and people that aren't into crypto, right? It's so funny. Like, you bring up NFTs, you're going like 10 layers down. First of all, we got to talk about crypto, and most don't even know what that is.
Exactly.
And if they know about it,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? They definitely don't know what an NFT is. So,
To know what
uh,
crypto is, you got to know you got to know mathematics, finance, computer
exactly.
science, right? That's a multidisciplinary thing,
And so,
cross-disciplinary.
yeah, yeah. And so it's going to be funny in like 5, 7 years, right? When everybody's like, yeah, NFT, yeah, like that's what, this is, or that's what that is, whatever it may be, right? That they're talking about at that time. So it's just,
Exactly.
it's crazy.
Grandma comes along and says, "Hey, I bought an NFT."
Exactly,
Be like,
exactly.
"Grandma, that's a shitcoin NFT. No, you can't buy that one. Here,
Yeah.
buy a Calico Guardian. I'll give you that. Merry Christmas."
Speaking of shit coins, somebody just brought up to me at work that I know is not in crypto at all. Is like, do you know about that Dodge coin? I was like, yeah, man, Doge. Let's hear about it
Dogecoin.
though. What'd you learn?
Dogecoin.
And because I'm always talking to crypto at work too, a bunch of non-crypto people, so like the story of everybody's lives, right? Somebody could relate to that. And he was like, yeah, like my buddy said, it went like up 18%. Elon Musk is accepting it as payment for Tesla, and I was like, very cool. Still not buying, but I was nice about it. I was like, yeah, that's. I mean, that's cool. I'm not gonna buy it. I would advise you. Again, not a financial advisor, right? I probably wouldn't buy it if I were you, but it is cool. um,
It's this new thing that happened. It actually started in 2019 with Tesla stock in particular.
right,
Was this new fundamental aspect to value a cash flow producing asset, right? Is the meme effect. So in 2019, the Tesla stock was the first, at least that I remember seeing, that just went absolutely ballistic. I mean, I
mm-hmm.
think it 10x'd in like a month or something like that. And everyone was like, sell, sell, sell. And
Right,
everyone was like, it's a bubble, it's a bubble, it's a bubble. And what does it do over the course of the next year or two? It does another 10x.
yeah,
Does another, like it's so ridiculous. And then you see it with the next one was GameStop,
right,
right? It's the meme effect, right? GameStop, I mean, I don't even know what GameStop is right now, but I know that the entire world was going on Wall Street bets on Reddit, and they were like, "Oh, got to get into GameStop." And that happened with AMC. Um, but then you started seeing it in crypto. Then you see it in the Shiba and the Doge, right? It's like, what do these things actually do,
yeah,
right? Now,
yeah,
te Tesla's a different example because they've actually increased they've actually increased their sales quite significantly. So maybe the marketing of being that first meme effect, maybe that did something to them. But Dogecoin and Shiba, like as far as the actual utility, like it
mm-hmm.
is the reason it has so much value. And if you think about it, Bitcoin's kind of the same way. Bitcoin is actually the first meme coin, right?
Right,
Because now the technology itself is revolutionary, but if you look at the technology of Bitcoin compared to, let's say something, let's even say Ethereum, right?
correct.
Bitcoin is essentially a shitcoin, right? Because where's the smart contracts, right? It's like, now that I have smart contracts, I don't want Bitcoin. And then you look at Solana and you're like, okay, now that I don't have extremely high taxing gas fees, I don't want Ethereum's a shitcoin. It's like,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. You just pissed a lot of people off saying that. I
I know,
like it.
I know I did.
Right.
Come at me. Come at
Yeah.
me. I'm the Don.
I'm the Don, man.
Don, you want to come at me?
Hell yeah. Yeah, there's some it's crazy in crypto because there's some people that really back Bitcoin and like they stand by nothing but Bitcoin. You can't tell them no different. They think everything
Bitcoin
else is
maxis.
shit. Yeah, there you go. Maximalist, right? They
Exactly.
they believe that there's no other coin out there that is
Hmm.
it's just Bitcoin all the way and that's it, and they're ready to
Yep.
die on that hill. And
Yep.
hey, kudos to them. Um,
Yeah, I mean, look, what Bitcoin did, like I said, was absolutely revolutionary, right? It introduced the world to blockchain.
Beautiful
That's
thing.
that's the revolutionary part.
Yeah,
But when you look at the issues as far as scalability globally goes, Bitcoin is not the future of finance. It's not the
right,
future of computer science. The future is our chains like Solana. I mean, at first it was Ethereum, but when you look at the gas fees of Ethereum, that is not scalable globally, right?
right.
$100 to send $10, $100 feeds a family in a third world country for a week, maybe more, right? That is not scalability. Scalability is a blockchain that is accessible by every single human being on the planet, and you are going to have low fees, extremely low fees, right? And that's going to make the volume is going to make it up to the validators, right? Like when once you achieve the scale, then it's no longer a shitcoin, but it's all about the race. And I'm extremely bullish on Solana, especially with Star Atlas being on Solana.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Solana. You know, I was a big person for Cardano. I've actually moved out damn near all of my Cardano, and I'm just big into Solana now. And I kind of have that same feeling back in 2017 when I first got into crypto, and something about Cardano just it really appealed to me. And I don't know if it's because Solana and Cardano kind of they kind of are in that same realm, right? Um, I don't know what
I
it
would
is, but
say
Solana
I would
just really
say
appeals to me.
Yeah, I would say the technology is very similar, Solana and Cardano, but
Hmm.
the main difference is Cardano lacks any memification. So Cardano has some really, really large partnerships with global institutions, I believe.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
when you go
big in
like
Africa.
when you look at the community of Solana versus Cardano,
Yeah,
it's very different, right? Like if you were to go on Twitter and look at Cardano Twitter versus Solana Twitter, I don't know, I just get a feel. It's like the Solana community is memeified, you know? There's something
yeah,
about that memification.
yeah. I will say when it comes to Cardano, because I'm actually like basically in both. I'm in the Star Atlas Solana, and then I have my Moonman Customs, which is heavy in like the Cardano space, right? So it's just a very serious, loving, caring group of people, but they're about their business,
Yep,
um,
yep.
and they've a lot of stake pool operators, a lot of delegators, and you will really find that on the Cardano Twitter, right? And it's a great community. I've worked with a lot of them, and I've made some custom apparel for quite a few different pools, and super great people to work with. Always super helpful, always nice. But yeah, I do agree it is different. And the one thing I do love about Solana, though, Cardano is always my first love, but the one thing I do love about Solana is now I have a new love for this because Star Atlas is built on it,
Mm,
and then also with the Moonman character, I've actually minted those 6 NFTs. My first NFTs that I've ever minted.
mhm.
Were on the Solana, blockchain. So that's now got a place in my heart too. So
Sure.
overall, these, Cardano is the kind of coin that I liked back then. Solana's the next one I like, and they're both kind of the same. But I'm just doing my first. I'm doing my first things on these different coins, but in a sense, I have all my love in this type of coin. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, yeah. There's definitely
third generation crypto. Yep.
there's a lot of I feel like there's more emotion in in crypto than there is traditional financial markets, and there's
I
a lot
think
of
so.
reasons to
Yeah.
that. But I I just feel
Community and
like
it's yeah.
I've made some terrible investments in the crypto space that have done really well. And because they did so well, I continued to think that they were good investments. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So
no,
like some,
100%, I
so
get it.
I've bought things that have gone up 1,000%, but when I look back today with the amount of research and just
You would have never made that move
contemplation,
today.
never ever would have bought those things before. But
Yeah.
it's almost like you get attached to the success. Does that make sense? So like if you see something go up 1,000%, it's like, oh, that was a good play. But if you really step back and you think about it critically and unbiasedly about
You
at
get
least in
that
my
feeling
case for
that
some of
this
the
is not
plays
what
I've
it's
made,
supposed to be like, right?
exactly. It's like, yeah, probably shouldn't have done that. That
Yeah,
was that
something
was a
feels shady about
little bit
this.
risky.
You know,
Yeah, that
something
was a
feels shady
little
about this whole
risky.
crypto thing, you know?
A little risky.
Yeah.
So,
And I think the big
yeah.
thing, the big love that I have for crypto is it kind of has that shady feel to it, right? It doesn't, but it does. I don't know how to. It just I don't know. Maybe because so many
It's
people say it.
terrifying.
Maybe
It's
because
terrifying.
so many people say it's a scam. You know what I mean? That don't know
Yeah.
anything about crypto. Maybe that's why I think it's a little bit shady, but it's
For
not.
sure, for sure.
Um,
I get
uh,
I definitely felt that way in like 2018, 2019, but now
yeah,
I'm total blockchain maximalist.
but
Now I'm like, this is
yeah,
what I'm doing for the rest of my life.
I'm Doge maximalist. You know, so um,
Doge.
no,
Doge
definitely not.
maximalist.
I don't even think that's a thing. Doge maxi.
Doge
But
max that's
the other
definitely a thing.
oh, it's got
That's
to be.
definitely a thing.
It's got to be. The other thing that I
Shiba
do love
Army.
about, huh? Shiba
Shiba
Army.
Army.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. The other thing that I really love about crypto in general is just has this like this feel of like, ooh, I'm like in technology. I am technology. Like I am like Cyberpunk 2077. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah,
just
yeah. I
gives me
feel it.
this like this AI singularity technology tech feel. Like,
Yes.
and that's the
Yes,
other really
yes.
cool thing about it too. Is it's just that.
Yeah, it's like when you really get into it, it's very I don't know, to me it's very empowering that
Yeah.
that I get
Yeah.
to I get to see I get to make the transactions and I get to sign off of them as opposed to some large bank or mutual fund or brokerage taking care of everything on the back end. It's like I'm in control of this. This is my money and I get to say, exactly where it goes, right? Because these um these large brokerages, they actually lend against your holdings, and you don't get any percentage return off that,
Hmm.
right? It's like, why do you get to do that if it's my money, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I like having control of my currency, whether that's fiat or crypto. I like that. I like being in
Feels
control of
it
it.
feels better. It feels like, if I ever needed to pick up and leave the US, I could, you know?
Yeah. 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 I would like to be
So,
able to just leave the U.S. Right? Isn't that a cool
yeah.
theory, or isn't that a cool
It,
thought?
it's a
Just
it's a
pick up and
it's
leave
a
and feel like you're in like a movie or something.
it's a liberating thought. It's
Yeah.
liberating to know that you aren't stuck, right?
Yep.
Nobody on the planet likes to be stuck, right? They don't like to
Stuck. Yeah.
have
Exactly.
someone that gets to make all the decisions for them. Everyone wants freedom. Everyone wants liberation, and
Nobody wants to be oppressed.
this idea of being able to have self-custody of your funds in an extremely liquid market that you can, cash out whenever you want. Like that's liberation, right?
Make a couple.
I
Make a couple right plays and you're in it.
I hate that I'm about to use this phrase because it has been bastardized on YouTube and Twitter and all of this, but
Can't wait to hear it.
financial freedom. That's what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. No,
It,
it's a
it's
good one. It's a
financial
good one.
freedom.
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah. I don't see anything wrong with it. I think it's coming because it's coming from you. But if I was watching a YouTube video and that ad pops up, do you want financial freedom? I'll show you how to make $1 million. Then I'm gonna beat around a bush for the next 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna tell you that it's free. I'm gonna send you to this page. It's gonna be a fucking funnel to a stupid ass fucking pager
no,
phone.
no.
This is my course.
You know what my
My name
absolute
is Ty
favorite is?
Lopez.
My absolute favorite is on YouTube. They've got the picture and the title is How I Make Money with My 76 streams of passive income, and the
Yes,
first one pops up in the video, 99% of this is from YouTube ad revenue. Just get a 5 million subscribers and you can make as much passive income as I make. I'm like, dude, what the, like, come on now. This is so misleading, you
it's
know? It's
terrible.
misleading.
It's
Yeah.
terrible. You know, I'm a big fan of Gary Vee, and I think he really shits on those people.
I do like Gary Vee. I do
Yeah,
now I do like Gary Vee.
yeah, he really sticks it to him, you know, because he's one of those people that gives out so much free content, is putting in more work than these people, but is actually living the life of what these people say. You know, it's just he's just he suffocates that lifestyle of what
Definitely.
people are trying to
Definitely.
portray. You know,
He's
and I
you,
like that.
us as humans, we can tell when someone is genuine and when
Yeah,
someone is selling snake oil, right? We
yeah,
we
for
know
sure.
it. We all know it, right? And the reason why is because now there's just so many people selling snake oil that it's almost like street smarts,
Yeah,
right? Like how do you get street smarts? By going into the street, right?
yeah,
By acting, by taking action, right? And when you get involved, all of these YouTube videos, they lead to like these financial freedom guys, they lead to nothing. And I mean, it can be very blackpilling in a sense.
mm-hmm,
Um, but really, it's what you're doing is you're building street smarts, right? Now
right.
you know what to look for. Like is someone truly genuine? And I definitely get that feel from Gary Vee for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's the documented history that he has too. I mean, you just time and time and again, you see him uploading videos, and he's just got a history of showing that he's been doing this for years and years and years and years, as far back as YouTube was created, right? So, uh, truly,
He was like one of the first.
yep, yep,
He might have been
definitely
the
was.
first
Yeah,
social
exactly.
media
It's funny that you
icon.
said black pill. That's a dark hole, right? Just thinking
It
everything
is,
is
man.
fucked and we're just
It
done.
is. It's
Yeah,
nihilism. It's
yeah,
nihilism. I mean, every I feel like every single person who's ever contemplated anything outside of their own perspective, outside of their own realm, like that's the first phase to, let's say, some sort of actualization is black pill, right? Like when you realize just how much corruption and collusion and abuse is going on in the world,
yeah,
it's daunting, right? It's like
yeah.
why do I even wake up in the morning? These things are so big. I've got no say. I can't do anything, right? It's like
Yeah, that's a bad
it's
hole to go
daunting.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever really get to the point of being black pilled, right? I think a lot has to happen. I know I just believe in too much good, and I see too much good out there to think that it's all just there's just no way, right? I love this if you're into conspiracies, I call them truths, right? I love if you know who Eddie Bravo is. I love his whole
Yeah. Eddie Bravo. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yes, dude. We might just have to go and dig into this. Okay, so I
Dude,
love
if
his.
you want to, let's do it.
Let's do it, dude. Let's go. So I love his whole thing. He says he red pills during the weekend, blue pills during the weekend with his kids, right? I think that's a funny little way to put it.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, Eddie Bravo, dude. What's his name? Who's the big one that goes on Joe Rogan? Alex
Um,
Jones.
Alex
Alex
Jones.
Jones.
Oh God, dude,
That
he's a
guy,
monster.
even if you didn't believe a single thing he said,
Yeah.
he's entertaining to listen to.
Oh, he's entertaining as hell. He cracks me the fuck up. Yeah, that guy cracks me up, man.
That guy's freaking hilarious, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
He's a
so
funny one.
so there's one thing that I think people, as far as conspiracy theories go,
Hmm.
I think people, that word is kind of taken on a meaning of its own when you
Yeah,
really look at
it's been
what
botched.
conspiracy theory means.
Yeah, it's two
It
people
means
conspiring.
it is a theory, right? And what's a theory? It's something that's not provably true, but it's literally the research process of getting to objective fact, right? It's theory is research, like the
It's
research
research. Yeah,
process.
yeah, yeah.
A conspiracy is when two or more people or entities are conspiring together to commit some sort of fraud, whether it be financial fraud, whether it be political fraud, whether it be media,
Yeah,
like
nefarious actions.
propaganda,
Yeah.
right? And that is the definition of a conspiracy theory,
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
the research process of trying to determine who is conspiring with who. But there's this weird blanket use of conspiracy theory that just automatically it's like the connotation of conspiracy theory
You're just a
is
goon on YouTube.
Yeah, when you are talking about conspiracy theories, you are talking about things that have never happened and never will happen, right? It's not that simple. A conspiracy theory is a process of trying to determine corruption, collusion, and abuse.
Yeah.
So
Well, no, I
I
think
don't know.
that
Just my
was
two
put in a
cents on that.
perfect way. No, I think you put it perfectly. There really is a blanket over it, and you know, I'll state it again. You say conspiracy theorists, people just think you're a goon on YouTube, right?
Exactly,
Or looking into
exactly.
YouTube, right? So it's much more than that, and that's kind of what I was going back to the censorship. You know, I'm not a big fan of it. Um, you know, I think that's uh, you know, I touched on that, you know, the future, people aren't really going to be able to look back and see what's going on. um, and what am I trying to say here? Let me think of how I could word this. um, so yeah, being a truth seeker, right, or a conspiracy theorist now, it's so difficult for us to show anybody what we, you know, because there's only so much in text. There's a lot in text. um, but when it comes to the internet, you can't show anybody anything anymore because it's all been deleted. You know what I mean? There's things that I know and have researched and documents, and I have saved files on my computer as well as, you know, things that I've printed off. um, but you know, some of the shit you can't find anymore. It's just gone. You know, and that's what's happening right now. There's just a lot of people getting canceled and a lot of people being turned off, and it's happening. It's where, you know, history's
You know
being
what's
written.
crazy to me is
Yeah.
at this point in our in society, we have so much information, and because there's so much information, we have the least amount of like research that we've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
But humans also have like the highest convictions that they've ever had. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if you try to get into some sort of argument, barring that it doesn't just immediately go into like an ad hominem attack where they're commenting on your appearance or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's usually how probably 90% of Twitter arguments go.
Yeah.
Um, it's like people have such strong conviction with no real underlying like foundation for the basis of their arguments, right? It's like
Yeah.
they are literally all they are doing is regurgitating like this typescript that somebody else who also didn't have a foundation for writing it wrote.
They
You
didn't have a
know,
leg to
it's
stand
kind
on.
of weird.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, to do exactly what you just said, right? I think Tim Dillon makes a great point. You know, you just like, people get so mad, and you know, you see this at like family
so
get-togethers,
angry.
and you see this in at work, you see this in your friends groups, you see this at parties, you see this at gatherings. You know, people talk about what's going on in the world and don't know these people. They don't know them personally. They don't know how they would act in that situation. They don't know anything about law. They don't know anything about the world, economics. You know, so many different topics they don't know anything about, but they're dying on a hill to be on one
The
side or the other
strongest
side.
conviction on the
And it's
planet.
like,
Isn't
I
it so
don't get it.
crazy?
I don't get
Isn't
it.
it so crazy?
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
very difficult for people to have an open conversation.
yeah,
I think some people can have it, and I think some people can't. And I think some people mesh well together, and some people don't. You know, people want to hear what they want to hear, and then there's some people that don't mind hearing something new and admitting that they're wrong, or maybe admitting that they're right. Whatever the case may be, it just really depends.
that's an even bigger rarity.
Yeah,
Someone admitting when they're wrong. I mean, it's hard, man. Like even when I'm wrong all the time.
yeah,
But admitting that you're wrong, that is someone of true character, right?
yeah,
Now that is someone to admire, right? And maybe that's why we like Gary Vee, right?
yeah,
Because how many times does he go on and admit he's wrong? All the fucking time, right?
yeah,
If he has better data, better something to support a conviction that is completely opposite of something he stated in the past, he'll come out and say it. He'll say, "Yeah,
yeah.
that was stupid. Yeah, nope, I got better data now, and this is my conviction now."
Yeah, I've always tried to take, you know, accountability for my actions. I've always tried to take responsibility for my actions. I've always tried to admit when I'm wrong. You know what I mean? And then I've also tried to always, uh, I think that just goes back to as well as asking questions. I think a couple of those things right there that I stated are very hard and very rare to find in a personality. Um, but every day I try to get better, and every day, and
Definitely.
everybody tries to get better. And it sounds like you're that type of person too. But yeah,
Definitely.
and I think that's why we mesh well. And I've got friends that I mesh well with, and because of the same type of character, right? But we're totally different people, but we just understand those baseline things that I think all humans should really take into consideration and really
Definitely.
try to learn. Sometimes you got to get out of the way of your ego, and you just gotta,
That's it, man.
yeah,
That's it. It's all rooted in ego, right? It's
yeah.
so hard for people
And ego's a
to
bitch. That thing gets it.
oh, it's a
That thing
bitch.
cat.
Oh, it's an
That
absolute
thing
bitch.
takes over me all the time. You know what I mean? I'm still trying to
Right there
tame
with
that
you.
fucking monster.
Right there with you. Right there with you, man.
Yeah,
I am right there with you. There's actually a delicate balance too, right? Because this idea of conviction being rooted in ego, well, if you don't have conviction, then you're not worth listening to, right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
if you have too much conviction, then nobody wants to listen to you because you'll never change your mind or nobody wants to talk to you, right?
yeah,
And so there's like a delicate balance of having conviction, but also having the character and the tenacity and the strength to admit when you're wrong, right? I think that's,
100%. I think
so
that sounded good. Yeah, 100%, man. Um, yeah, yeah. A lot of people got to figure it out, but I'm always willing to help people, and I'm always looking for help from people. I think that's the best thing people could do, man. Is just ask for help from sometimes. It's okay to do that. It's okay to, um, maybe in one subject, you did this perfectly. You did this perfectly. Exactly what I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna track back. I'm just gonna backtrack on what you said earlier in the conversation. You were like, you know, I'm just a front man of the Alessio family. I started it,
that's it,
but
man.
some of these guys they're
I'm a
fucking
fucking idiot, dude.
geniuses. You know what I mean?
I am a
And
fucking idiot.
you
Seriously.
know, I'm just the front man, but these guys, I go to them for questions, and it's that right there. Literally, we're talking about it
That's it.
now, but it was literally done and talked about.
That's
What is
it.
this now? 40, 50
That's it.
minutes ago.
I
Man,
love it. I love it because the guys will come into the Alessio family and usually they're a little bit older and they always treat me with so much respect. They're always like, "Does the Don sign off on this? Do you do that?" And I'm
yeah,
sitting here, I'm like, "Look, Jack, I'm not gonna tell the artist how to create art. Okay? I'll
yeah,
provide you all the guidance you need. But if you tell me that we're gonna do this, I'm gonna say, "Yes, sir. That's what we're doing."
yeah, yeah. It's a round table discussion, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. That's what it's all
perfect,
about.
man.
What it's all about. That is probably the hallmark of a great leader
Hmm.
is being able to determine what your weaknesses are and finding someone that can supplement it way better and delegating that to them, putting them in charge of that, right? Because I can't do art. I'm a terrible artist. But
Yeah,
Jack can do art. He's a fucking phenomenal artist. So,
yeah, yeah. I like that a lot, man. I think this has been a really good conversation. Um,
definitely.
I don't know if you
Definitely,
want to cut
definitely.
it. We can keep it going. You tell me. But I like where
Yeah,
we've went
yeah.
with
I,
this.
I
We've
I didn't
covered a
really
lot of
have
topics.
really have too much. I'm sure, dude. I'm sure me and you are gonna be. This is gonna be Joe Rogan and what's his name? Duncan.
Yeah,
Duncan.
yeah.
You know how
Trust it.
they have him all the time. Joe
Yeah,
Rogan.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think who does Joe Rogan go on with the most? Is it Duncan?
He does Duncan a lot. I know they always
He does
dress
Duncan
up.
a
That's
ton.
that's 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 one of his favorite guys. It's he's got he brings on Eddie Bravo a lot from time to time. People get excited about that.
Yep,
Alex is
yep,
another one they get excited about.
yep, yep,
He has his boy Brian Callen and
yep, yep.
what's his
Brett
name?
Brett Brett Kreischer. Is that his name?
Yeah,
Brett
yeah.
Kreischer.
Bert Kreischer.
Who's the other one?
Yeah, you got
Who's
Bert
who's the
Kreischer.
who's the super funny guy? He's fluent in Spanish and it always throws people off.
Oh, what is his
Um,
name?
Comedian.
I'm always watching him
Um,
from time to time.
I love that guy.
Fuck, man. How are we? He runs. This
God,
is your mom's house with his wife.
yes,
Um,
yes. Oh, what's his name?
babe, who
Tim,
is it?
not
Who's it?
Tim.
Who's the guy?
Gotta know who it is.
The wife.
Your mom's house. I
Your
gotta Google
mom's
it.
house. The one guy. The comedian.
What's the
Tom
guy's
Segura.
freaking name?
Boom.
Tom Segura. How do we forget
Yeah.
Tom Segura? How do we
Yeah.
forget that, dude?
Yeah. Yeah. Great dude. Yep. Yep.
He's fucking hilarious.
He's good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you doing this. Thank you to everybody that listened in. If you want to say any last things, Don, and let them know where they can find you, and let them know how they can reach out to you and possibly join the guild, and just, yeah, chill a little bit real
Let's
quick.
do it. Let's do it. I want to start off by saying this. Eventually, these are going to be in the metaverse. Eventually, we're going to be suited up in 3D, probably have a live audience,
Oh yeah.
and it's going to be huge. You're going to know who the Moon Man is, right? There are going to be people, there are going to be millions of people that come back and watch this initial primordial episode years from now. I'm
Yeah,
telling
that'd
you,
be
you're
crazy.
going to know who the Moon Man is.
Thank you.
But
That's
yeah,
awesome.
so I'm the Don Kane. I started the Alessio family. It's a metaverse mafia, metaverse guild, which will eventually be a DAO. And you can find us. You can find us on the official Twitter at Atlessio, Lessio. We also have the domain atlas.io. So atless.io. And you can find our Discord links there. You can find me on Twitter. I'm at the Don Kane. And yeah, that's it. I'm looking forward to collaborating more with the Moon Man and coming back on. We need to bring on Jimmy Hoffa. Honestly, we could bring on all the maid members at some point.
Let's do a sit
But we
down
really need to bring
for
on Jimmy
sure.
Hoffa because you had a really good question about um, how do you
How,
make how do blockchains? I think it was something along the lines of how do
yeah, how does
blockchains
I was
make
specifically
money
kind
or
of
something like that.
yeah, I was specifically kind of asking on Atlas, like how do how does Atlas, how was it created by a team, 45 billion tokens, and then we all decide to buy into it, which obviously that gives it value, but I guess that is answering the question right there. People buy into it, which then gives it value, right? We all say it's worth this, but I'm sure the way he would answer it would be much more technical and be a lot
Sure,
easier
sure.
for me to understand and so many others to understand. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, yeah. His the way he's going to describe it is really really good and it helps people understand it better. Now, I will say as
Mm-hmm.
far as Atlas goes, I think Atlas is better to think of it like the USD of the Star Atlas metaverse.
Correct.
So
Correct.
it's so the Star Atlas team is essentially going to function like the Federal Reserve, and they have a lot of policies in place to keep the price stabilized. So over time, Atlas is not going to be your typical 10, 100x investment. Now, Polis, on the other hand, has the potential to be, right? Assuming that the Star Atlas metaverse is successful, you're going to see Polis shoot to the moon, whereas they're going to have a
Yeah.
concentrated effort to keep Atlas within the bounds of low volatility. Hopefully, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, hopefully, if
Right.
they can do that, they say they're
I
going to do
mean,
that. I have
for
never seen
instance,
it
that's
been
why
done
they got
before.
45 billion tokens, right? Because they really,
Exactly,
you've,
exactly,
they're
exactly.
trying to bring everybody can have one token in the world times nine. So,
For sure,
or times
for sure,
whatever the math that would
for
be.
sure, for sure. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So thank you so much for coming on. I
absolutely.
really, really appreciate it. I'm super glad that this is my, first let me interview somebody, and I just really appreciate it, man. We've always had a good relationship. We're building more every single day, and I think we got a big future ahead of us, and I think that we're really going to change the world for the better, and the metaverse is ours to, take. So thank you so much, man.
110% agree. Thank you so much, Moon Man. Is this podcast, is it called the Moon Man Experience?
Yeah, the Moon Man experience. Yep.
Thank you for letting me come on the Moon Man Experience. I am so honored to be the primordial guest, and we're going to do this so many more times.
Thank you. All right, everybody, you just listened to the first interview on the Moonman Experience. I'm so happy if you made it through this whole thing. Thank you for taking the time out of your day, and I really, really appreciate it. Please, everybody, go follow the Don Kane on Twitter. Go check out the Alessio family. Super good group of guys, super intelligent, down to earth, and always just looking out for others, before themselves. So thank you very much. Share this, subscribe, do whatever you got to do. I really appreciate it. You have just listened to the Moon Man Experience.